Hello students, today I will discuss the topic capacitors. In this topic capacitors, I will discuss in brief about the capacitor, the types of capacitor. I will tell about the spherical capacitor, parallel plate capacitor, and then I will move on to the electrostatic field energy, the energy stored in the capacitors, and in last I will also tell about the mechanical force per unit area of the acting on the conductor. So let's start. What do you mean by capacitor? Capacitor basically these are the conductor. Capacitor means the conductor only. Okay, and it is a capacitor is a material, or capacitor is a conductor which has the capacity to store charge. Capacitor has the capacity to store charge. Okay, hence it has the name capacitor. So if a charge Q is given to a capacitor or to a conductor, the potential is developed on the surface of the conductor, and it has been found that more you give the charge, more the potential is developed on the surface of conductor. So Q and V both are directly proportional to each other. So we can write it as Q is equal to CV, where C is a constant of proportionality, and this constant is known as electric capacitance. Okay, and this C is defined as the ratio of charge given to a conductor and the resulting potential developed on it. Okay, C is equal to Q by V, so it is ratio of charge to the potential. And this C, the capacitance, C is known as capacitance. This is function of its geometry. Okay, why it's function of geometry? Because it depends upon the size and shape of conductor, and we have different types of capacitor according to different shapes and sizes. We have a parallel plate capacitor, and we have a spherical capacitor, we have cylindrical capacitors. In parallel plate capacitor, we have two plates which are parallel to each other, right? And these plates have some area, okay, and they have some distance between them, and the capacitance of this parallel plate capacitor is given by this relation A epsilon naught upon D, where epsilon naught is the electric permittivity, okay, and A is the area, D is the distance between them. So this is the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor, and I am not going to discuss in detail about the parallel plate capacitor in this video, or if you want me to discuss about it, I can make another video on it, on parallel plate, spherical capacitor and cylindrical capacitor. But in this video I am just talking in brief about these, okay, so that you know about the types of this capacitor. Okay, then spherical capacitor has the capacitance 4 pi epsilon naught r. 4 pi epsilon naught r is the capacitance of a spherical capacitor, where r is the radius of spherical conductor. So you can find the capacitance of this. And we have cylindrical capacitor also. So mostly we use parallel plate and spherical capacitors. Okay, and SI unit of capacitance is farad. Okay, it is written as F, capital F. And capacitance of a conductor is 1 farad if the potential on the surface of an insulated charge conductor is 1 volt when a charge of 1 coulomb is given to it. Capacitor is 1 farad when capacitor is Q by V when a charge of 1 coulomb, okay, and is and we have the potential 1 volt. Okay, so the unit of the capacitor farad, the unit of capacitor farad is very big unit. Okay, in practical applications we don't use this unit. In practically we use other unit of capacitance, which is millifarad, microfarad, picofarads. Okay, you can see here millifarad is 1 1 mf is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 f. Micro is 10 to the power minus 6 and pico is 10 to the power minus 12. So you should know about these units, and the smallest unit is this pico, and mostly in the numericals and all you will find this unit very much, or micro will be seen, no, milli will not be seen much. So capacitance, 1 farad capacitance is a very big value, okay, and if you want to know how much it is big, you can see with the help of this example I am telling you now. This numerical is calculate the capacitance of the earth by assuming it to be sphere of radius 6372 kilometers. So you have to calculate the capacitance and assuming it to be sphere of radius this. So here the case of spherical capacitor. So because the shape of sphere is given, and we know the spherical capacitance as the capacitance 4 pi epsilon naught r, and r is given 6372 kilometers converted in meters. Then put the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, which is equal to 9 into 10 to the power 9. So you know that c is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught r, and 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught is this, and r you know, then you can find out the value of this. Okay, so by solving this you will get the answer, and you can see that the capacitance has this value in microfarad. So imagine a sphere of radius of this much kilometers, and in this much kilometer radius you have the capacitance or the storing capacity, it is equal to 708 microfarad. So you can imagine that 1 farad ऑफ कैपेसिटेंस जो होगी वो कितनी ज़्यादा, मतलब उसमें तो कितना बड़ा स्फीयर आ जाएगा, कितने बड़े रेडियस का आ जाएगा, जबकि यहाँ पे 6372 किलोमीटर्स है तो यहाँ पे माइक्रो फैरेड की कैपेसिटेंस आ रही है. सो यू कैन इमेजिन कि 1 फैरेड कैपेसिटेंस जो है वो कितना बड़ा यूनिट है. सो हेंस वी यूज़ स्मॉलर यूनिट्स लाइक माइक्रो फैरेड एंड पिको फैरेड. आई होप इट्स क्लियर. ओके, now let's discuss about the electrostatic field energy. So in electrostatic field energy, this is the energy which is stored in the capacitors. Okay, this is the electrical energy, so hence we called it as electrostatic field energy. So this basically is when you have one parallel plate capacitor, suppose, so you connect it with the battery. Okay, we connected with the battery. The positive potential of the battery is connected to one plate, and the negative is connected to the other plate. So with this connection, we will see that after some time the positive charge will accumulate on this plate and the negative charge will accumulate on this plate, and hence as time gradually will pass, so with the passage of time you will see that the potential difference will increase between these two plates. So potential difference increases between two plates, and hence you can say that whenever there is some potential difference, so if you want to deliver some charge from one plate to another, if suppose a battery, so suppose this battery delivers some charge, say Q dash, okay, from this plate to another plate. So in this case, when you know there is some potential in between these, so there will be some work done in transferring this charge, and this work done will be stored in the form of electrostatic field energy. So this energy, the stored energy, you can convert in some other form by allowing the capacitor to discharge. When we will discharge, then क्या होगा कि जो इलेक्ट्रिक एनर्जी है वो कन्वर्ट हो जाएगी और किसी फॉर्म में, ठीक है. It can be heat energy, light energy, and so on. So discharging and charging are the two processes of a capacitors. ठीक है. So this stored energy can be formed in this some other form. Generally, the work of charging a capacitor is done by a battery or source of electricity. So you have seen that I have connected a battery in this case. So let Q dash be the charge transferring. Okay, I have considered Q dash is the charge transferring and V dash be the potential difference which is developed on the plate of capacitor. So potential you know is Q by C. So V dash is equal to Q dash by C. Okay, so work done in charging the capacitor from 0 to its final value of Q, final value of charge Q is equal to the total work done is integral of dW, and which is from 0 charge to its final value of charge, which is Q, and dW is equal to, as you know that work potential is potential difference जो होता है, that this is work done per unit charge. So work W is equal to VQ. So dW is V dQ. Okay, and V you know the value, V dash you know the value. So here V dash is Q dash by C. So put the value of V dash, will have Q dash by C dQ, and then Q dash 1 by C will be common, Q dash dQ, and Q dash dQ dQ dash integral will be Q dash square by 2, and here it is limit is 0 to Q, so it will be Q square by 2C, and you know that Q is equal to CV. So if we put the value of Q here, so we will have Q C square V square by 2C, and by cancelling this C we will get 1 by 2 CV square. Okay, and also we can get half QV. So these are the three forms. Okay, you should know how to get these three forms of the work done. And this energy U is the energy which is stored in capacitor of capacitance C having charge Q. This energy work done is stored in the form of energy, na? So we can write it in the form of energy as this. Okay, in the form of U. And in series you must do it yourself, that capacitors when they are connected in series, then what happens, and when the capacitors are connected in parallel, then what happens. So when you will perform this yourself, then you will get that, and when 1 upon C in case of series. Okay, so 1 by CS is equal to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3 and so on. And in case of parallel combination of capacitors, we will get CP is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3 and so on. Okay, so if you know these, please derive these yourself, and you will come to this conclusion that energy also obey this form. In series it is in this form, and in parallel it is in this form. Okay, now let's move to another topic, which is mechanical force acting per unit area of a charged conducting surface. So for this consider a charged conductor, and in a charged conductor you know that charges always reside on the surface of conductor. That I have already told in my previous video, and if you haven't watched that video, then please watch, because it's very important topic, that charges always reside on the surface, not inside it. Okay, so let the surface charge density is sigma is the charge per unit area, as similar charges repel each other. Therefore the charge on any part of the conductor is repelled by the charge on the remaining part of conductor. Okay, because you know that ki similar charge they repel each other. So if we consider a particular part of a conductor, so all over the whole charge is same. Okay, so if we consider one part, the charge on that part is repelled by the charge on the remaining part of conductor. Okay, therefore there always exists a force on the surface. Okay, there exists some force on the surface, so that this repulsion effect does not affect that. and these both can exist together. Okay, so for this we consider a small area ds on the surface of a charged conductor, and in that we consider a point A which is outside this area, and whereas B is a point which is just inside this area. See this figure, and this is the surface. In this we have considered this area which is ds, and outside this we have considered a point A, and inside we have considered a point B. Okay, then we will calculate the electric field intensity at A, which is given by E is sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, and in this electric field we get by the two contributions. How two contributions? First is due to the charge on area ds. First is contribution is due to this what we have taken. Okay, the small area ds, and second is due to the charge on the remaining surface, this area, this surface. Okay, so due to this surface the electric field will be outward normal, and due to this remaining surface the electric field will be outward normals. So both electric field directions are in same direction. So electric field can be written as E1 plus E2. This is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, so then electric field at B will be also due to these two reasons, but they are in opposite directions, as we can see in this diagram. E1 is from right to left and E2 is from left to right. Okay, why these are opposite? Because if we are taking a point inside the surface, for this inside the point, this area which we have considered ds, for this the other part of area is we are seeing. Okay, मतलब हमें जो सरफेस का दूसरा हिस्सा दिखाई दे रहा है, जो ए वाले को दिखाई देगा वो थोड़ा दिखाई दे रहा है, हमें दूसरा हिस्सा दिखाई दे रहा है. सो वो जो दूसरा हिस्सा है उसकी जो डायरेक्शन होगी, अगर हम उस एरिया की निकालेंगे तो वो क्या होगी, आउटवर्ड इनवर्ड की डायरेक्शन होगी. इसलिए E1 की डायरेक्शन जो है ऐसे बनाई है, राइट से लेफ्ट. ओके, और जो रिमेनिंग पार्ट है उसके लिए कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, उसके लिए जो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड की डायरेक्शन है वो सेम है एज दैट फॉर द पॉइंट एट ए. ओके, सो we come to the point that electric field inside the conductor, as we know that it is always zero, and according to this we know that E1 and E2 are opposite to each other, so we will write E1 minus E2, and inside it is 0, so E1 minus E2 is equal to 0, and from this we will get E1 is equal to E2. So you can you know that in the previous we wrote that E1 plus E2 is equal to sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, and E1 E2 both are equal to each other, so E1 plus E2 we can write as 2E1 is equal to sigma by epsilon naught, and from this we can get E1 equal to E2 is equal to 2 epsilon naught. Okay, thus from this equation if we write E is equal to this, so we can get sigma is equal to epsilon naught time E. Now surface density sigma is charge per unit area, so charge on the area is sigma into area. Okay, sigma ds, and force acting on this area due to charge on rest of the surface, this will be equal to q into E2. Okay, because we are considering the charge on rest of the surface, and due to rest of the surface electric field is E2, so hence we will put the value of E2 here. Q is sigma ds and E2 is sigma by 2 epsilon naught, and we will get sigma square ds by 2 epsilon naught. Then the mechanical force per unit area, or the pressure, force per unit area is pressure of the conductor is given by this sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, because force is equal to this thing, so force per unit area will be, ये term जो है इसे ds वाला वो cancel हो जाएगा, so we will get sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. Okay, and we know the value of sigma is epsilon naught E, because here we have calculated this value. Okay, this value you put here, then squaring and उसको simplify करोगे तो आपके पास ये आएगा half epsilon naught E square. This is the mechanical force acting per unit area, or the pressure of the conductor. Okay, for a conductor which is lying in the vacuum. because epsilon naught means the electric permittivity of this space, okay, or the vacuum. But if we have a conductor which is lying in a dielectric medium, then for that case dielectric constant K will come into place, okay, and we will write here epsilon naught K. Simply we will multiply this whole term with K, okay, for a dielectric medium, okay. So if you are having any doubts, then please put in the comment section. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.